Foxborough Planning Board will come to order. It's welcome to the meeting of February 8th, the Foxborough Planning Board. And the meeting will be broadcast live and recorded by Foxborough Cable Access, and some members may be zooming in. And what are you telling me?
I think we got to read the whole thing.
Oh, I'm sorry.
There are all cars up there.
They're for the funeral home.
So, this meeting may be accessed remotely via Zoom. For login information, please go to the foxborough.mass.gov/departments planning and click Public Remote Participation Live Link. The meeting will also be broadcast live via Foxborough Cable Access TV, channels 22 and 38, fcatv.org/live. When required by law or allowed by the chair, persons wishing to provide public comment or otherwise participate in the meeting may do so by in-person attendance or by accessing the meeting remotely as noted above. So, good evening. This will probably be a relatively short meeting, but we have any department update or old business?
Yeah, the update I have is about the job for the director of our department has been posted, was posted the end of January. We have received so far 3 applications, but it's a rolling thing, so we're still receiving applications. I think when we have, a few, then the board will be presented. So I spoke with the HR director, and she said, she acknowledged that the planning board, is the driving force on this.
Any active subdivisions for tonight?
No.
No. Oh,
Make a motion.
go ahead, what's your motion?
Make a motion to approve the minutes from January 4th, 2024.
I'd second that, but I do have a change.
Dun, dun, dun.
Sorry. Page 2.
Page 2.
So like the graph that starts past town meetings.
Past town meetings, okay.
All right, I'd like to strike after the comma because I don't think the community is resistant to additional housing is consistent with the record.
I think you're looking at January 17th.
We're on January 4th.
Oh, I am looking at January 17th. Well, I'll give you
But I will
this
put
anyway
that out
after the
there.
meeting. Yeah,
I forgot to put the 17th on the agenda, so we'll do those at the next meeting. But
okay.
So you're good with the 4th?
Yes. I guess.
That was seconded without any changes then.
Yeah, for the 4th, yeah. All those in favor?
Aye.
Very good, all right. A few minutes, or we can
not a
do
public
this as a
hearing.
discussion, so. The agenda item is for annual town meeting zoning discussion, discuss the articles to be submitted for the annual May town meeting. Number 1 is the auditorium, to see if the town will vote to amend the code of the town of Foxborough, chapter 275, section 9.6.1.1, by deleting such section in its entirety and replacing it with the following: to permit the implementation of the reuse consensus plan for Foxborough State Hospital property dated April 10th, 1994, and amended September 5th, 2002, such that the construction of 246 residential units is permitted in the Chestnut Payson Overlay District, the CPOD, and construction of 297 residential units is permitted on the Foxborough State Hospital property. And section 9.6.6, table 9.1, dimensional regulations for Chestnut Payson Overlay District by deleting the words age-restricted senior housing from the use designation that currently reads assisted living, age-restricted senior housing, and that this use designation shall read as follows: assisted living. And section 9.6.7.12, lowercase c, by deleting such section in its entirety and replacing it with the following: C, assisted living facilities, 40 dwelling units per acre.
And the driving force behind this is that it's a in bad shape building. And
Yeah, we have
wanna-
the auditorium, and there's a possibility of adding residential units in the auditorium building, but also tied to a possible assisted living facility within the property. So in the reuse plan for the state hospital, there was a limit of the amount of units within the main campus and then with the whole property. And we're at a max right now, so in order to add units, and we need to change the numbers.
And it was going to cost like $500,000 for us to knock this down if we didn't make it a different use to make it attractive to be
Right,
purchased.
it's become in pretty bad shape, and looking at demolition, yes.
So, and the additional units would be adjacent, is that right?
Yes. Yeah, possibly the additional living units in the auditorium, the auditorium could be rehabbed and units added inside, but also having more units in the rear of the property.
How big is the property?
It's 2.27 acres.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Any questions? So you need a motion?
Yes, please.
Want one motion?
Please.
Want a motion to place the auditorium section onto the spring annual town meeting
Warrant.
warrant.
Something you wanted to add?
No, I think we need to do a roll call since Gary is
Yep.
remote.
Okay, all those in favor?
Well, you need a second.
Oh, I'm sorry, I'll second that. All those in favor? We'll do a roll call vote. Kevin, aye.
In favor. Yes.
Yes, Gary, aye.
Tracy, I.
Ron, aye.
Jeff, I.
Very good.
Thank you.
Second item is accessory uses and structures. Number 2 is to see if the town will vote to amend the code of the town of Foxborough, Chapter 275, Section 3.1.6, Table 3-1, Table of Uses, Use Group L.7, by deleting the letter Y under each of the R40, Highway Business, General Industrial, Limited Industrial, and S1 columns, and replacing it with the letter N. And Section 3.16, Table 3-1, Table of Uses, Use Group L.8, by deleting the letters BA under each of the HB, GI, LI, and S1 columns, and replacing them with the letter N. And by amending the definition of residential storage structure in Section 11.1 by deleting the words 200 square feet and replacing them with the words 400 square feet.
This is the one that prohibits storage facilities on Route 1? Which ones?
No, this is for accessory structures to multifamily units. These districts don't allow multifamily units, so it's unnecessary to have those uses permitted in those. So it's a matter of cleaning up
Okay.
that. And then we're just increasing the size of the accessory structures.
No, actually, what we're doing with the definition is not consistent with the table of uses. So it should be 400 square feet, not 200 square feet in the definition.
So this is just cleaning stuff up, to
Yeah.
Gary's point. One motion.
Yes, please.
I make a motion to place number 2, accessory uses and structures onto the spring annual town meeting warrant.
Second.
All those in favor, individually, Gary?
Gary, aye.
Tracy, I.
Kevin, aye.
Ron, aye.
Jeff, I.
Number 3, institutional uses, to see if the town will vote to amend the code of the town of Foxborough, Chapter 275, Section 3.1.6, Table 3-1, Table of Uses, Use Designation F1, by deleting the designation's definition in its entirety and replacing it with the following. all land and buildings used by a public, private, or nonprofit entity for charitable or medical uses, including uses that provide for the care and treatment of individuals with mental or physical disabilities that substantially limit one or more major life activities such as hospitals, sanitariums, nursing or convalescent homes, physical therapy and rehabilitation facilities and orphanages, and all land and buildings that provide residential services and congregate housing arrangements for more than 5 non-related individuals with disabilities, including residential programs licensed by the Commonwealth of Massachusetts.
What is this?
You want to go ahead?
No,
So
this is yours.
last year, the zoning board had 2 applications for group homes. Homes for individuals who are disabled, for 5 individuals in each home. And during the course of preparing for that, we realized that the current definition of institutional use is in violation of the Federal Fair Housing Act and in violation of an applicable provision in the Massachusetts Zoning Act. So this definition would bring us into compliance with that. And also because what we're saying is that basically a home for unrelated individuals, a home for 5 or less unrelated individuals will not come before the zoning board. It's just up to the building commissioner.
Motion.
Yes, please.
Make a motion to recommend placing number 3, institutional uses onto the spring annual town meeting warrant.
Second.
Want to start, Gary?
I,
Tracy,
Is that Gary, aye? Okay.
Tracy, aye.
Kevin, aye.
Brown eye.
Jeff, aye.
You're going to be.
Are we missing something?
We have to read this thing in its entirety into the record? We have to read this thing into the
It's not
entirety?
I don't think so, no.
Yeah.
Can somebody sum it up for us? Please.
So this is the article that was drafted in a subgroup with Mr. Overett and Ms. Duncan, and a consultant that was hired with funds from Mass Housing Partnership to address the requirement under Section 40A, Chapter 40A, Section 3A, which is the law that requires towns that have a commuter rail or MBTA facilities to zone, oh my gosh, to zone for a number of units.
And it's the Station Overlay District.
Yes. So we have prepared a map showing the location and in contrast with where the residential, neighborhoods are in town. This is something that the map we've put on the website, so people can refer to that. So if people are asking you questions about it, of the location, you should refer them to the planning board.
Just a couple
Website.
questions just for the record and for folks. So other locations were considered, but this one is where you folks ended up from a recommendation standpoint because it's the farthest away and will have the least amount of impact on Foxborough town residents?
That's correct.
And what other places were considered?
Domain?
Yeah, we considered overlaying where the domain, where the 240B projects are, Foxborough Boulevard and Fisher Street. And I think that those were the ones that we were considering the most besides this.
And why aren't you recommending those?
Because it's near neighborhoods.
Okay.
So we want to try to keep it away from
Yeah, the impact-
from our
the impact-
neighborhoods.
The impact will be much
The
less
the
with
impact
this.
to single-family neighborhoods would have been much more severe than
Yeah.
So there's really 3 objectives with this. Number 1 was obviously to comply with the state mandate. Number 2 was to be as consistent as possible with current zoning requirements. And number 3 was to lessen the impact to the degree possible to existing residential areas.
I'll make a motion to recommend putting the Foxborough multifamily overlay district on the Springtown warrant.
I'll second that.
Gary?
Favor, yes, aye.
Tracy, I.
Kevin, aye.
Jeff, I. So, at the public hearing
Yes.
on this, well, number one, Kevin, we should probably make sure that we put a motion on the floor to waive the reading, because we'll want to do that formally at that time. But,
Yeah, this is all.
depending on how this goes,
That's it.
is this gonna be the proposal? Or do we, you know what I'm saying?
You mean the location, Jeff?
You mean the proposal goes to town meeting?
Yeah.
We hope so. Gabby, yesterday afternoon, forwarded the draft to the Attorney General's office for review. And the hope is that they'll say that it does comply with the state statute. If it doesn't, if there's any changes that have to be made, tell me how we would handle that at the public hearing.
And I was thinking about also, in addition to the, the mechanical aspects of it, also the locations, but just for strategic thinking, I mean, so if this doesn't fly, then, there can be a regrouping that might include some a more scattered site approach.
I totally think that can happen, but I think even if we went scattershot, the impact to the residents will be greater. I mean, the only one who's voiced any concern over this one is the Crafts for commercial reasons. But from a resident standpoint, this by far is the least offensive one.
Well, you remember our little go-around with our Walpole friends?
Sure.
They'll be back.
I'm just saying,
I appreciate and I don't want to do anything that's detrimental to any town, but we're supposed to represent our residents, unfortunately, and that's our job.
my
And
thinking.
Walpole's going through the same exercise that we're going through now.
Right.
Yep.
But of
And I mean,
course-
if it doesn't pass town meeting, I think we can all be reassured that the state is going to require any community that doesn't get it passed at this original, are going to say, go back again and try
Yes.
something else, or, whatever, in order to
Right, at
try to
least
comply.
if it doesn't pass, at least they know we tried and now we have to try again.
Yes.
Do we know where Walpole's considering?
I would imagine
Not
right down near the
specifically.
station.
Yeah, I mean, their
even know where-
station, if you're
Don't they
familiar
have
with
new
it,
construction?
They do, they have a lot of
They have a lot
multifamily.
I don't know where, I don't even know where they're,
their station is downtown.
Oh,
Right
okay.
downtown.
It's right off the center of town, so.
it's a little
But
bit.
there are two large multifamily buildings within walking distance of the station.
Oh, so that, it could be
And there's a
easier for
third
them.
one, the third one that they did that you don't even see, that is tucked in,
I think where Gilmore's used to be?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anything else?
But if we do have to make some changes, what would be the procedure at the public hearing?
I mean, based on whatever the Attorney General says?
Yes.
I think we would have to just, re-look at it, vote it again, with the changes that we need to put in there, and then, hopefully we'll know prior to the 22nd, is that when it is?
Yes.
Yeah,
So
Well, I
a
think we
formal.
need a text in advance, for sure,
yeah,
Yeah.
of those changes, sorry.
right.
I mean, we're hoping that we'll hear, by then, but there's no guarantee, so.
You have no concerns?
I do.
Okay. About what, anything in particular?
The dimensional requirements, specifically the minimum lot area.
Okay.
Is there a timing requirement to actually have that vote next week?
The
In 2
warrant
weeks.
article closes when, the 1st of March or something?
Actually closes next week, I think.
Next,
closes
next
next
week,
week.
it
It's gonna be
closes next
closed by
week,
the time
but the final language could be tweaked, I was
Okay,
told.
So we've actually put it on the warrant right here?
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, my hope is that we don't have to
They've
make any
been,
changes.
they've had a placeholder for it, so.
And then, I mean, if we have to change it after it, hits the formal warrant, we'll just, you can make a motion on the floor.
Yeah, we
So
want to try to
Barnes,
avoid that.
Geez, that'll
Concerned
kill
that
it for
the
sure.
consultant even though they said to us that they felt with the change that they already made, that we met that target of the 50 acres. Is that the size of the property? Is that what you're concerned about? You're not required to answer.
Yeah, I'm just concerned.
Yeah, okay.
Fair
That's
enough.
fine.
That we can't get to the number,
Yeah.
the required number.
Okay.
You know, again, we're required to have 1,152.
Right.
Or the zone for 1,152.
Right.
And I'm just concerned that, do we meet that?
Okay.
But the
She
con-
says we meet it.
The consultant does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you maintained that height restriction that we originally had in there?
Yes, that hasn't changed.
So if you do remember our friends, they said with that, it couldn't be done.
I mean, they would like not just that height, but
Yeah,
also
no, I know.
location,
Right.
so.
Their remark was that they thought you could only do a townhouse development, and I don't know that that's true either, so, you know.
Okay.
We good?
All right?
Make a motion to
I'd like to be optimistic, but I'd rather have
Having
confirmation.
done this for a few minutes,
make a motion to adjourn.
No, we got two more.
We got two more?
Oh, we do?
I know,
Tom told me we did.
I didn't see him on here.
Oh, yeah, sorry. Page 8,
Number 5.
yes.
Don't we read it?
yeah, sure, go right ahead.
All right. Commuter rail station definition to see if the town will vote to amend the code of the town of Foxborough, section 11.1, by adding the following definition thereto. Commuter rail station, any commuter rail station operated by the Massachusetts Bay Transportation Authority with year-round rather than intermittent, seasonal, or event-based service.
Somebody thinking?
Yeah,
So when we were working with the consultant, she wanted us to add a number of definitions to the draft. Most of the definitions she wanted us to add, they weren't terms that were being used. Commuter rail station is used in the draft. It's also used elsewhere in the bylaw. So
And
we
it's
felt
not
it would be
defined.
appropriate to have a definition for it.
So it's not defined anywhere right now?
No.
right.
Okay.
I'll second that. You did, you've read the thing.
And that's our definition, not the
Yes.
state's definition, or if they have one?
It's similar to it, but
Never mind, I'll make a motion.
my wording.
All right, I'll make a motion to accept that
To recommend to place it on the warrant.
and to place it on the warrant.
There we go. Second,
Yeah?
Gary, aye.
Tracy, I.
Kevin, I.
Ron, aye.
Jeff, I.
6?
Okay. Parking definitions, to see if the town will vote to amend the code of the town of Foxborough, section 11.1. Seems to be a lot of issues with section 11.1. By moving the definitions of parking lot and temporary parking lot under the heading parking and adding a new definition for multi-level parking structure under the same heading so that it reads, parking, multi-level parking structure, a structure in which vehicle parking is accommodated on multiple stories, a vehicle parking area that is underneath all or part of any story of a structure, or a vehicle parking area that is not underneath a structure, but is entirely covered and has a parking surface at least 8 feet below grade. Multi-level parking structures do not include surface parking, parking lots, or carports, including solar carports. Parking lot, a paved area designed and constructed to the standards set forth in section 6.0 of these bylaws, the purpose of which is to provide off-street vehicular parking. Parking lots may be a primary or accessory use of a parcel pursuant to section 4.0 Table of Use Regulations. Temporary parking lot, an area whether paved or unpaved, which in the opinion of the special permit granting authority is suitable for providing off-street vehicular parking. Temporary parking lots may be a primary or accessory use of a parcel pursuant to Table 3-1.
So multi-level parking structure is another definition that the consultant suggested we add. And then in talking with Gabby about it, Gabby suggested we just put that definition together with the other two, which already exist in the bylaw, under one heading.
So parking lot and temporary parking lot
Or
are
current.
just there,
Current,
they're just
yeah.
moving.
Yeah, they were just separate, so one was, in the P section, and the other one was in the T section, and I think we're trying to clean up that stuff and put everything together that, goes together, so.
And just from my understanding, are these definitions specific to the overlay district, or do they cover the whole
They would cover the
zoning
whole
bylaw.
gamut, because we do allow multi-level structures in the Economic Development Overlay District. So this would give us a definition for that.
Right.
As well as work with the draft bylaw for the overlay.
Make a motion to recommend putting the parking definitions article onto the spring town meeting warrant.
Second.
All those in favor?
Larry, aye.
Karen?
You said it. You can't.
Say aye.
Yeah. Tracy, aye.
Aye.
Kevin, aye.
Jeff, aye. These are kind of.
Make a motion to adjourn.
Not complicated, but they're going to require some explanation and some finesse on town meeting floor.
Make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
We're talking about every
Tracy,
one of
aye.
the,
Kevin, aye.
overlay, or the
Larry, aye.